Matsumoto D over here, you know what it is, just chilling. Just wanted to bring up some facts here. Another books. I got my books back, baby. Hey, everything's set up here. The room is looking way nicer and stuff now. Cleaned it up. So we are set up and ready to rock and roll here. So I'm ready to start working, making plays, and just keeping the world going for my fan, man. It's great actually to be in a safe zone way in a family. I'm telling you guys, like Eurocentrism, and especially for those who are of my origin, if you've been black in America for a while, or just a well-educated, even Caucasian person, but any people of color in that nation knows it was built on the destruction of any individual's capabilities, essentially, in order when they sacrifice that and give it up. I was recently refreshing and reading this book. This is an amazing book. It's called The Day Wall Street Exploded. And what this is essentially about is I would just say history, like they say, it always doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And I'm telling you, if you pick this book up now, you will laugh at the absurdities of how much history is rhyming at this point. So I got my ODB. ODB was a rebel too. Man, he was a rhyme master when it came down to this. But in 1920, September 16th, there was an attack in Wall Street in front of JP Morgan's building. People were being disenfranchised by corporations. And there was a Luigi before this Luigi you're seeing on the TV. There was a guy named Luigi Galliani. And essentially, he was what they call an anarchist. But his main thing was, back in those days, many people don't understand that the civil rights movement had scared America into fortifying the solidarity of a white race. So, but prior to that, if you go back to the 1920s, Italians, Irish, Polish, a lot of people, they were not included in this whole whiteness, hey, come on and join. They only were included in order to make sure that they could disenfranchise. The polar opposite is what they perceive of the white solidarity was black people. So when they were trying to do this, that this is something that comes up later. But from this event, a lot of people don't understand that many things that ACLU and other factors came up due to these events. So a lot of different organizations came up, and essentially there were the Palmer raids. If you understand history, the Palmer raids were very similar to today's current ICE raids. They were running around saying that the immigrants are the danger, that they are extremely dangerous, and this was the preemptive time of the Red Scare. So they were essentially going in and just taking people out of the country, get them out. It's very much, I'm telling you, it's rhyming with what's going on today. Very much like that. And during those times, there was a lot of people who were the Gallianist groups and stuff. They were blamed for this attack, but this was an unsolved mystery, as they never got your guy. So there was no arrest, no nothing. Because back in the days, if you travel to your country, you leave, go back to Italy, and you say, whatever, screw that country, I'm out. It's harder for them to enforce because the FBI, CIA were not as capable during that time, which is why the police forces also start to share information. And they started to realize that certain states couldn't handle the crime on their own. So they would essentially give more power. And at this time, many people, due to that strike and how it struck at home, it was about 35 people who were ended there and things, but it was such a massive attack during that time. He had put in a wagon, it pulled up with a driver, and on September 16th, 1920, it goes off at noon at 12:01, right at the time, because they'd known people would be going for their lunch and stuff. And it was a direct attack on Wall Street because inflation had been running wild. Don't forget that this was right before the Great Depression. People were feeling disenfranchised by a government that was essentially bringing up oligarchical control. And they thought that there was going to be some Bolshevik-ist movement. So it was the whole concept where they would call him, he was a very charismatic speaker. If you look at Luigi Galliani, much better than the Luigi we have today, as he just went and took out some stuff. But he would call the propaganda of the dead and things. And they would have these speeches, and he would just talk about how any man being pushed down or woman being pushed down by governments and losing their anonymity in order to enforce the solidity of a structure isn't truly a free person at all. You're giving up your free will simply for safety and security. And I'm just saying, it sounds very much similar to where we are today. So it's kind of ironic that about 106 years later, we're still right here, man. And I would actually say, as the numbers on the CPI and PPI reports are showing you, that these guys now have more than they have ever had, because every time there's some attack, the system gets more power in order to tell you that they will protect you with the power, but they tend to disenfranchise you and sell off your information to their corporations and entities. So I highly, highly recommend, if you like to read, check out this book, see what's going on, because it really, really highlights a lot of what's going on today. It's a rhyme and repeat. And the reason is, all these books, I'm telling you, I just read and read and read. And I'm happy where I am now, because my family, I feel that they're safe and secure, as America is a very young nation. The weather is one of the hugest things that scares me there. And then after that, the disenfranchisement of their social contract. I'm telling you guys, it's going to get very, very crazy. And you'll understand when it gets there, but I hope that you're preparing.